Which player do I think would have the most successful career if they'd have avoided injuries? And there's no doubt in my mind that the answer is Dean Ashton. I actually sort of cried and wept a little bit for him when he announced his retirement, and it wasn't just from a selfish point of view that he weren't playing for West Ham anymore. He just come across as a decent bloke, a really hard-working player, and as someone who's destined for the top. Whether that was with us or not is a different matter. But I think sometimes you just look at a player and you go, "Wow, they've got something." And I think that's what happened when he joined us. He totally transformed us up front, and such a shame that when he was on international duty, it should be every player's dream to play for their country. He gets an injury like that from Sean Wright Phillips, the most weird and odd player to get tackled like that and sustain an injury that would eventually ruin your career. I always say, many people ask me if I have done in the past, what's your favourite West Ham goal? And I always tend to say the goal that Ashton scored away at Man United, because he was injured at the time. He was against Rio Ferdinand and Van der Sar in their prime, and to hold him off like that and score a goal like he did, the overhead kick, was just fantastic. And even our Man United fans in the audience, in the crowd, clapping him, sort of standing up and giving him an ovation. So it just showed that he had adulation from not just West Ham fans, but a lot of fans out there. And it's just such a shame that he didn't get to fulfil anything at all, really. Whether that was with us or not, because he probably would have left us. He probably would have played for Man United or one of the big teams. He was definitely had the quality for it. So yeah, unfortunately, it's Dean Ashton. But he was a great player. He was very unfortunate.
So, whose career could have been better? Ashton, Carroll, Collinson or Dyer? Or was there another? Just out of those four, otherwise I'll be here forever. It's Ashton to me. That was the most disappointing, because he would have been so good. So good. So good. To me, he was looking such a strong player. He was really coming into his stride with him playing. He was so hard to handle. I went to the 2006 FA Cup final against the Scouse, and he bossed him at the back. Every time he got the ball, they janked their pants. Absolutely. He was such an handful that they could not handle him. Carragher just didn't know what to do. And I think he would have been the new Alan Shearer, and better than Shearer. Yeah, he would have been so strong up front, giving people such an hard time. He would have held the ball up, scored goals. He was a perfect striker. And typically, with the jinx of West Ham, we get a decent player like that, and he gets nobbled, and then that's it. That's the end of his career. Happened so many times. Dyer, he came, didn't he? And then he got injured. Never did it. Never cut the mustard after that. Poor old Collinson, he was going to look good as well, wasn't he? He was a good midfield player, strong and all that. And then he got injured. Shame. I mean, another player, I'll just carry on for a minute, was Ravel Morrison. He was a great player, wasn't he? He had potential to be a great player and didn't. I was hopeful for Freddie Sears. He would be a good striker, like Tony Cottee. But he never bulked up at all, did he? He sort of stayed 14, even though he was 27. He still looked 14. He just didn't get any muscle on him, so he got knocked off the ball easily. So that is it for me. Is old Ashton. I was bitterly disappointed. Bitterly disappointed when his career was over. I thought he was going to be absolutely mustard. He probably wouldn't have had to stay at West Ham. He'd have had to go to a big club, but who cares? We'd have had him for a while. He'd have done us a favour. He would have done us proud. He really would have done. But there you go. Shame about old Ashton. I've met him a couple of times. Lovely bloke. All right. Take it easy. Come with your eyes. Up the hammers. Stay safe in this lockdown. Keep well. Cheers.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jazz, and I'm going to be answering the question: out of 4 players whose career was kind of ruined the most due to injury. So the first player we're going to look at is Dean Ashton. And funny enough, he's the one that I think we've lost the most impact due to injury. I think he would have gone on to become a regular in the England team, for example. And he had everything as a forward. He could hold it up. He could sort of be like a goal poucher. He was a good team player, good header of the ball. I think he had everything, and very young in age as well, I think. I think he came to us, he was age 26 when he retired, so he came to us probably around 23, 24. 6'1", really good height. 15 goals in 46 games. It's kind of neither here or there, but again, a lot of that's due to maybe substitute appearances and kind of not being really fit towards the sort of last season or so at West Ham. So I think it would have been Dean Ashton. I think he had it all, and he would have offered a lot to the England team. England team had Rooney, back then Owen, and then after that, not much really. He had Crouch and Theo Walcott as a backup. So I think he definitely was in the squad, as we know, when he got the injury, and he would have been a regular at West Ham and England. But having said that, I think he would have moved on within a year. I think the vultures were already circulating because there weren't many British strong all-round strikers like him. So I think it would have been him, and he was the first good striker after a long time since Cottee, McAvenny, Morley days, I think. So it would be him. I think his career was blighted the most, especially we bought him at the age of 23, he retired age 26, so he had a lot to offer. Andy Carroll would have been the second one, again. One of those players, not many of them around. I mean, Crouch was the similar kind of target man, but I think Carroll was the hustling, bustling 1970s, 80s style. And when he was on song and injury free, he gave defenders a hell of a time. They hated facing him. I was there, fortunately, at Upton Park when we drew 3-3 with Arsenal, and he got a hat trick, absolutely demolished the Arsenal back line. So I think Carroll would have had a good career, certainly, and that's why we kind of got him after Liverpool, really. Not as much as Ashton, but I think he would have had a good career. And I think after that, Collinson, I'm not sure what to say about Collinson. I don't think he was a high impact player week in, week out. I think he did a good steady job, had a reasonable career at Wales. I think he got 15 caps for Wales, age 25, 26 when he finished. Not sure about Collinson. I think he would have been a steady player. The other one was Kieran Dyer. Kieran Dyer the least injury because he was 29, I think, by the time we signed him, and he literally played in 30 appearances, no goals. 33 caps for England. Last cap was before he joined us, so his career was already done. So it wouldn't really impact him anymore. We just got him, unfortunately, age 29 towards the end and didn't get much out of him. So Dean Ashton would be obviously, Carroll a little bit as well. Collinson, not sure, steady Eddie kind of player. Unfortunately got injured young, but I think we could have managed to replace him sort of reasonably easily. Kieran Dyer, not at all. So that's my responses. Hope everyone's well, healthy, and just putting your sort of head down and trying to sort of get over this virus, really. So take care, everyone. Come on, you irons.
Hello, everyone. So this week question is, whose career sort of like the biggest disappointment for you because of injury? I think it's Ashton, Collison, Dyer, Carroll and other. This question is extremely difficult. Ultimately the answer for me is Dean Ashton. And the reason why is I moved from Bethnal Green to Crewe when I was 12 years of age. One of the things I said to my old man, God rest him, was when we moved up here, I wanted to watch football every week. I used to have a season ticket at Upton Park. When I come here, I wanted to watch football every week. I love it. So I used to have a season ticket at Crewe for years. I watched Dean Ashton make his debut for against Gillingham. And I said from that day, I'd love to see that man play for West Ham. And because of some little fucking short prick with that tackle, ruined his career. So ultimately for me, it's always going to be Dean Ashton, who is the ultimate disappointment for me, because that guy was going on two great things. I don't believe for a second that we would have had him much longer, if he'd have stayed fit, because he would have gone on to a massive club. You know, it's not just West Ham fans that say that Dean Ashton was England's answer to Alan Shearer. You know, that's neutral fans, you know, around here, Liverpool fans, United fans have all said the same. But I think there's a case to be made for the others that were mentioned. Kieran Dyer. Now, if he wasn't plagued by injuries, he'd have gone on to a massive club, you know, but the age he joined us, I believe he still would have come to us, you know, and we could have seen good things from him. Carroll, let's face it, you know, plagued by injuries, and I think his were his own fault as well, you know, but when he had a run of fixtures, he was unplayable. Collison, West Ham boy, you know, so I think more than anybody out of the ones that are listed, he was the one that everyone would wish that he didn't have that struggle, you know, and I'll never ever forget with Collison, after losing his old man, to play that game against Millwank, because it meant so much. Like, his old man was going to games and that, and he wanted to do it sort of like for his dad. Right, I loved the geezer before that anyway, and the fact that he played that game meant even more. So I think, if anything, he would be the one out of the four that every West Ham fan would have wanted to see not be injured, you know, because of it. But there's also other honourable mentions like Lundberg, again like Dyer. At his age, he would have come to us. I think he would have still come to us. Lundberg as a player, if he hadn't been plagued by injuries with us, would have done great things. So, yeah, I think this is a very good question, but ultimately for me, it's Dean Ashton, because I watched him from his debut, followed him, and we've had great memories, you know, of goals that he scored for us. And I think that even though we might not have had him for much longer if he hadn't got injured, we'd have seen a lot more, you know, and I think he's the type of player that when he left us, he wouldn't have gone to a rival. He'd have gone on to bigger and better things, though, and we wouldn't have been hasty with it, do you know what I mean? And we wouldn't have hated him for it, and we'd all just watch his career progress. That's my point anyway. They're my views. If you agree with it, fantastic. You know, if you don't, please let me know. Drop me a message. Take care. Come on, your wines.
For West Ham fans everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. Never miss a thing with the latest West Ham news, gossip and social stories as they break. Download the free COY Irons app now from the App Store and Google Play.